Welcome to Sports Talk Around the Clock. I'm your host, Danny Drew, and we're here today with Dalton Mitchell and Lane Freeborn. Let's get things started. The national championship coming up on Monday night, LSU and Alabama. Lane, what's your pick?
I'm going to pick LSU because of their defense. They have an incredible defense, and this is going to be a very defensive game, but I think that if anytime you can play 8 men up in the box and still defend the pass, it's an advantage to you. They have such athleticism. Tyrann Mathieu, Heisman candidate. But, don't count Alabama out of it. It's kind of a toss-up here because if Trent Richardson decides to take it on his shoulders and have a tremendous game, it could be Alabama's game. It could go either way.
It's definitely a tough game to pick because these teams have, largely, they played the same schedule. They play in the same conference. They play in the same division. And when they played, they were separated by 3 points. It's unbelievable, and it's going to be a great. I'm picking LSU. It's hard for me to say I pick LSU because of their defense, because statistically, Alabama's defense is better. That's not to say they are better, but both of these teams are two of the best defenses that anyone has ever seen in college football. It's going to be a higher scoring game than the last one, but I still think LSU is going to win.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I'd like to see Alabama be able to pull off a victory, but I'm not, quite sure that they're going to be able to, just because of LSU's defense and their ability to play. It seems like they can just be all over the place because of the level of talent that they have, and their athletes are just freaks.
And I think that the difference here is going to be 2 things. One, it's going to be turnovers. LSU gets a lot of turnovers, and 2 points off turnovers.
Yeah.
I think that you look at a guy like Tyrann Mathieu, who can not only intercept the ball, he can get you in the special teams game and return something for you. I think that's going to be the difference. I don't think there's going to be maybe not an offensive touchdown, maybe a defensive touchdown, punt return, kickoff return, something like that. It's going to come from that.
Yeah, and I also think that Alabama's success relies on how well they can run the ball. Because like you said earlier, LSU's a defense that they can put 8 in the box and still defend the pass. If they can establish a running game, then that could blow it open for them. Yeah. Because if they establish a running game, then what can they do in the pass? If LSU knows they can run the ball against us, then what can they do in the passing game?
Yeah.
All right, on to the next question. The best bowl game so far. What do you guys think?
You got to go with Stanford, Oklahoma State.
Ridiculous game. So much fun to watch.
To me, it looked like Stanford was in control for most of the game, and all of a sudden Oklahoma turned on the Jets, caught back up, and it was just a back and forth. You got to feel sorry for Stanford kicker and everything he's going through, but it has just been a tremendous game. It was definitely the best so far.
Yeah. That was one of my picks. I think that's probably my best pick, but just throwing it out there, I think the Michigan Virginia Tech game was a fantastic game. I'm not a very fan of either of those teams. I picked Michigan to win that game, but Virginia Tech put up a solid. They played a really good game.
I just feel like in any type of those games, though, when you get a call like that, is it a catch, is it not a catch, that clouds the whole, what made the game good, because it's like you'll never know, because you don't know even if you would have caught that catch, what would, had they won, or would have Virginia Tech.
But that's the human error that's in football. Sometimes it's just hard to say, and there has to be a decision. Somebody has to win, somebody has to lose. That's just the way it is. And in the case, it worked out for Michigan. But either way, it was a great game.
Definitely. And Virginia Tech's kicker did shank a field goal that could have possibly propelled. Could have changed things a little bit. But hey, it's over now, I guess. But good win for Michigan. Go Blue. Biggest upsets or surprises as far as the bowl games go?
I think the way that Houston beat Penn State, they didn't just beat them. Case Keenum threw for like 524 passing yards, something ridiculous. The amount of offense that Houston puts up is unbelievable. In fact, they did it against a Penn State team that, after everything that Penn State's been through this year, you'd think they would play more motivated, especially against a team like this that a lot of people weren't giving Houston a chance just because the Houston is playing Conference USA. But I think it says a lot.
I didn't give Houston a chance. I thought Penn State maybe not would have won it handily, but they would have won it easy. They would have been in control of the whole game. And the fact that Case Keenum comes out and throws 386 yards in the first half and throws 49 times in the first half means they were just out there just chucking it. It was nothing.
Penn State had no
was-
answer for their passing attack.
It was a mess.
And you'd think, I mean, pre-game or like something, you'd have against a passing attack like that. It's not like that's the first time that they put up those numbers this year.
An air raid. you know.
Exactly. And I think it maybe, you never know, just because Penn State might have underestimated them a little bit just because they are in the Conference USA, oh, well, anybody can pass on, if you're playing all these teams. But, you can pass on a Penn State Big Ten defense too.
Yep.
NBA Finals picks, how do things look?
I mean,
That's really tough to say because it's really early in the season, but
still.
So the way the Miami Heat have just
ridiculous.
blown out everybody they played.
And I think
The
a
def-
lot of people, I think a lot of people, after the Heat loss, I think a lot of people thought, well, they just need a year to get it together. And I think that's what's happening right now. They've got their team chemistry together. They're just, I have a feeling they're just going to keep winning this year.
Oh yes, and LeBron's playing better than he has
Lights
ever
out,
before,
yeah.
and that's because he's got
Definitely.
Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh around him helping him out. They're playing incredible, and I don't see them being stopped, except when they get to the finals, because I believe that a very young team out of Oklahoma City will be coming out of the Western Conference, and they're going to put a stop to them. I mean it's crazy.
That'd be
to think
awesome.
about
Kevin
because,
Durant's such a freak.
LeBron James and Dwayne Wade are just playing out of their minds, but Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook. If Russell Westbrook works on being a point guard just a little bit more, he will easily be the best point guard in the game.
I think
He's the most athletic for sure. I mean, he's a freak.
I think the NBA champions are going to come out of the East pretty much no matter what, and I really think it's going to be the Heat. I mean, the West, you got. I mean, the Lakers have their problems. The Thunder have their problems. The Thunder have played really good basketball.
I mean,
It's still, if you watch them, I mean,
Everybody has problems,
Everyone
dude.
has
The
problems. Yeah,
Heat,
the Heat have
Heat
problems.
put together this team of just total unbelievable athletes, and they couldn't get it done last year. Like anybody can win on any given day, and that's why I think obviously that's what gives watching sports. It's it's
and I just feel
excitement.
like
at any time, and the East is very competitive.
Yeah.
Knicks, the Bulls, all those different teams that can mix it up easy. I can see that one of those teams upsetting the Heat in the playoffs, and the Heat's out of it. And I definitely think the Thunder are the second best team in the NBA. Next to the Heat, and I see them winning it all.
that's definitely my opinion.
I think it'd be cool to watch the Heat win it all, but at the same time, the Thunder, that is an amazing team, and it's a ways down the road. The NBA finals aren't going to be played until the summer.
June.
June, yes.
So it's going to be a long, interesting road, and I'm really excited to see what all these teams can do.
If you look at it right now, I mean,
Timberwolves and the Sixers are teams that have in the last few years been terrible. Actually, are the front runners right now. It's early on in the season, of course, but still, it's going to be interesting, especially with a 58 games or 66 game schedule or whatever it is. It's
Ridiculous.
Going from the NBA to the NFL, the Super Bowl, it's rapidly approaching. It's playoff time, and I'm really excited to watch some awesome playoff football leading up to the big game. So, who do you guys right now taking the Super Bowl? Well, who's going to get there, and then who do you
I think
take to win?
I think there's one or two teams going to the Super Bowl. And I think it's either the Packers or the Saints. Those are the two. They're playing unbelievable football. I mean, especially the way the Saints finished the season. Drew Brees is unbelievable the way he's been playing. Out of the AFC, Ravens or Patriots probably, but I think whichever team comes out of the NFC, whether it be the Saints or the Packers, if it's not one of them, that could change it. But I think those two teams are going to be, and one of those two teams is going to be in the Super Bowl, and one of them's going to win it. They're just playing unbelievable football.
that's it. I mean, Saints is a good. Everybody acts like the Packers is a shoe-in.
Yeah, and
It
they're
is
not.
so competitive in the NFC right now. I mean, not only Saints, the 49ers
Yeah.
are playing.
Absolutely.
That defense is incredible. Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman, those guys are playing ridiculous. I see the 49ers coming out of the NFC and winning it, and that's kind of an upset. But I think that the Packers showed some weakness in the Chiefs game, and the fact that focus was a problem, a focus for the Super Bowl champions. I mean, I heard that Clay Matthews before the game was catching, back of the end zone touchdown catches, in the corner trying to be a wide receiver before a game. That's obviously part of the reason why they lost. But I definitely see that a team like the 49ers, they have a lot of veterans. They have a lot of guys who have stuck with that team forever. And I just see them that they're the most experienced team, and they're gonna come out and win the Super Bowl. The AFC's good right now, but that terrible Patriots defense.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's going to be their Achilles heel, and that's the best team coming out of the AFC, and they have a terrible defense. I don't really see AFC posing a threat. Really.
Yeah, and a lot of people have been talking about the Patriots, the Packers, and even you can kind of put the Saints in there about how these teams, these really good teams that have had great regular seasons, have some of the worst defenses in the NFL, and the 49ers are obviously the exception to that, and that could make a huge difference.
That's my point. I think their defense can step up and play.
Yep.
So basically, the AFC is relevant in the Super Bowl hunt. Whoever gets there is just going to lose. So.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough, man. That was pretty brutal on the AFC.
Hey,
I know.
I mean, if
you
the
and I are
Patriots-
definitely two AFC West fans.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, gosh, the Broncos. I mean.
Yeah, that's actually the next question. The Broncos lose 3 straight, but make it to the playoffs. Are they a contender? So, I don't think that they are. Tim Tebow has not played very well the last 3 weeks. Kansas City set him up for a victory. I think there was like 4 minutes left in the game, and all he had to go do was score. Like
It's like somebody wrote a script for him.
Exactly, and he couldn't get it done, and that's that exactly of the Tebow.
Yeah.
But I thought it was very interesting that when John Elway was in his second season as starting quarterback for the Broncos, he went into the first round of the playoffs and played the Pittsburgh Steelers, just as Tim Tebow is. And on ESPN this morning, they were telling the advice that John Elway would give to Tim Tebow, and he said, just go for it. Just fire your gun. Always attack, and there's nothing bad there's a lot of things that are bad that can happen from that, but attacking is always good. I think
with Tebow, he attacks
and
he's
not very good.
Yeah, he can release his arm, and it's probably gonna end up in his
Definitely.
But you got to look at when Tim Tebow was at Florida. When did he play his best? In the postseason.
Oh yeah, I agree.
He played his best football in the postseason, and it's the NFL.
It's the NFL, baby.
It's a completely different
It's the
game.
NFL.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big boys.
But I don't think they're a contender. I don't think they're gonna. I don't even think they'll make it past the Steelers.
3 straight losses, and
Yeah,
they're still
I
getting
just
the playoffs.
after the first loss, I think the Broncos just lost all their steam. I feel like watching them after that, they just all kind of lost their motivation, especially that defense that had just been playing lights out. They just lost everything.
Definitely. Well, they only gave up a touchdown
to the Chiefs.
to the Chiefs.
Yeah, well, look what happened to the Patriots, a playoff team that they probably will have to face.
Yeah, definitely. I think if Tim Tebow, if he pulls the trigger and he has some confidence, he could go out and he can do some good things against the Steelers, but the Steelers' defense is just too good.
It's all about confidence.
Ridiculous.
The whole Broncos team they're going to have to go in extremely confident if they expect to win this game.
Trade Manning or keep Manning? That's the big question these days. For the Indianapolis Colts, what do you guys think that they should do? What would you do if you were in their situation?
The best thing you can do for you can't trade Manning and get Andrew Luck and then just throw him in there like that, especially after a team who just went 1-15.
Mm-hmm.
That's a David Carr type situation. There goes his career.
Yeah.
Keep Manning, let him play his career out. One of the best quarterbacks ever, and then put Andrew Luck behind him
absolutely.
and let him mentor.
Absolutely.
Just let him mentor.
It's
Aaron
like
Rodgers,
Brett
Brett
Favre,
Favre
Aaron Rodgers, yeah.
situation. Look at
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers now.
Matt Flynn, Aaron Rodgers situation.
Maybe
Same thing, yeah.
I think it would be stupid if they traded Manning away.
He's Peyton Manning. You have to keep.
He's Peyton Manning.
He's
Now
the face of the Colts.
Yeah, and something they could do if they don't want to draft Andrew Luck or they're trying to get rid of one or the other, trade the first round pick
absolutely.
and get some help around Peyton Manning.
I definitely agree with that.
But
They definitely need help in every
Everywhere,
position, everywhere, every aspect of the game. Special teams, offense, and defense, they're just not cutting it. So I think that they should keep Peyton Manning, as a mentor, and he's just such a motivation to that team. And just like you need, to go places you've never gone before, you have to do things you've never done. So if I'm trying to think of a good situation right now. Like if Andrew Luck went to Indianapolis, would it be a good thing? Is he good enough to just go his first year and just start, or should he be under Peyton Manning for a little while?
Somebody like that.
Quarterback needs time to develop.
Yeah,
even
definitely.
Look at a good season like Cam Newton. He's still not. They still need help.
Yeah,
everywhere
what
else.
Cam Newton's remarkable. What he's done is remarkable, but
he's a different type of a specimen, but the fact is
Yeah.
he needs time to become a better
Yeah.
quarterback.
And just look at like Alex Smith for the 49ers. He's played a really good season. His first couple seasons were awful.
Atrocious.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even think he was going to be with them at
Yeah,
this point.
yeah,
you know?
absolutely. And now he's back and he's playing solid football. He's
But-
playing good football.
Yeah, I mean, you can't just throw him in there like that, especially on a very, very bad team like this.
And that'll do it for today's show. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I hate to have to pick a winner with only 3 of us on here, but Lane's been my best friend my whole life, so I'll pick Dalton Mitchell. Lane has been
First
This
win.
is ridiculous.
lucky enough to be able to hang out with me every day
I don't
for the
even-
last 16 years. So, Lane, love you, man, but Dalton's the winner of this sports talk.
That's
Thank you guys so much for watching. Take it easy.